Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabula Obscura, where the shadows come alive and the supernatural lurks just beneath the surface. Tonight, we dive into a chilling lineup of unforgettably spooky movies, dark tales of demons, haunted towns, and otherworldly terror that will keep you looking over your shoulder long after the credits roll. Whether you're a seasoned horror fan or just in the mood for a scare this Halloween, get ready to explore the creepiest corners of cinema and series. Let's open the door to the unknown, if you dare. So today we have a special birthday episode. Today is
Oh,
Mike's
jeez.
birthday, and he's coming at us live from the haunted craft room. Yeah, and
Haunted
I'll
craft
say it
room,
now
yes.
because Mike's going to say it anyway at some point. If I see something in the background, or if you all see something moving in the background, let us know in the comments because apparently things move in the background in the haunted craft room. So,
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. We have stuff turning on in the middle of the night now. It's weird.
there you go. So today's episode is going to be real laid back, chill. We're not going to have too much of an agenda. What I did is I came up with a list here, and so I did not tell Mike what this list is yet.
I have
He
no
has no
idea.
idea, and so we're just going to run through these one at a time. We're just going to have a discussion about them again, movies, series, whatever it is, and we'll just dive into it. And then when we're done, we're done. We'll move on to the next one. Now, there are going to be some here that you absolutely recognize, and there'll be some that even I don't recognize or Mike doesn't recognize. But if we happen to,
I've seen a lot of movies, man. I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty far repertoire of cinematic experiences that I can
and I
just
would agree with that too.
off the
I would
cuff,
agree with that
man.
too. So let's
Yes.
start with the first one. Now, the thing I will say here is these are not any particular order except for the first one. Okay, the first one is the only one that I purposely put as the first one because it is, in fact, the greatest movie of paranormal nature ever
Oh
made in the history of
God.
cinema. So we'll start off with it.
No.
Mike, would you like to name that movie?
I don't know. I'm gonna assume Constantine.
Constantine. There you go. You got it. You got it. Now, that's the only one that's in order. Every other one is just whatever they landed on the list, they landed on the list. I did not rank these. I only Constantine had to be first.
Now, just let the viewers know that we also did we air that episode, the Constantine episode?
I don't remember if we aired it or not. We may have. If not, it may be the one that has been in post for months now. All that high production value. It takes a while,
Uh,
it takes a while.
it takes a while,
So
man.
if not,
Yeah,
it'll be coming out sometime between now and this time in 2026. But um,
we did a pretty deep, far deep dive into
yes,
that
we did,
movie.
and
I
it is
think, and
coming out. It's just haven't had time to finish editing that one.
if it's not there
If it's
already,
not there already, that's right. I did not go look back at the record. So I'm going to throw out some quick facts about Constantine, just to kind of get the ball rolling, and then Mike, you'll give us your kind of deep dive, or more like what your thoughts about the movie are, things you liked about it, things you didn't like about it,
synopsis.
because not everyone likes every movie. But I want to point out that this was released in February of 2005. So this movie is now it's almost old enough to drink alcohol because it's February of 2005. It is now, as of today, recording October of 2025. So it's 20 years, and in February hits his 21st birthday. So consider that, Mike. This movie is almost old enough to drink. So February 2005. Main actors were Keanu Reeves, the legendary, Rachel
Mhm.
Weisz, and Shia LaBeouf, ironically.
Shia
Whatever.
LaBeouf, Shia LaBeouf. And I mean, to be fair though, he was a smaller actor back then. To be fair, I thought he wasn't even that really involved in the story, which is funny because in the actual the graphic novel, Chaz is actually supposed to be a much more involved character. He has this entire storyline where he's actually partially immortal, and whenever he dies, he actually comes right back to life. So that they really did him dirty in
Right.
that
And
one in the movie, I have to
speaking of
say.
doing dirty, I did the actor dirty. I did not put his name in here. The actor who played Papa Midnight, probably one of the best roles.
Diamond
Okay,
Hunter.
there you go. Thank you for mentioning that. And I also didn't put in the guy who plays Satan. Um,
That would be Peter
there you go.
Stormare.
So thank you for mentioning those. I left them off the list. Amazing performances by both of those. In addition to,
Oh yeah, Peter Stormare, dude. Peter Stormare as Satan was
yes,
legendary, bro. Legendary.
unbelievable. Like the way he adopted. Yeah. Anyway, so uh, I'll give a brief synopsis as well, and then we'll kind of dive into again, we're trying to keep these short, but relevant. So the synopsis here, mind you, these
Yeah.
now I'll just say up front, these synopses are not the best ever. It was just trying to get it literally to one sentence or two. So, forgive me. That's the reason we're going to dive into them. But the synopsis here is a detective and an exorcist, John Constantine, battle demons and angels on earth, uncovering dark conspiracies between heaven and hell.
Yeah. That pretty much kind of puts a pin in
All
that
right.
there.
So tell me, Mike, what were your favorite things about this movie, and what did you not like about it?
The favorite things about the movie, the the fact that Gavin Rosdale, lead singer of Bush, the rock band, plays a demon with
Balthazar.
zero acting chops. Yes,
Mhm.
Balthazar with zero acting chops, and it shows. And I'm pretty sure I don't think he did much acting after this. And I mean, I think that he did the acting in movie world a favor.
How much music did he
I'm
make
saying.
after this movie?
They actually did a few other albums. They weren't as popular, but they still made music for at least another 10 years, I think.
Yeah. So that you're right. That was an interesting tidbit there. Anything else you like or things you don't like about it?
I wish that they were closer to the graphic novel. Also, side note, there was a TV series that was on CW that was awesome and very accurate to the graphic novel. Only had one season. In fact, there was even an online petition trying to get this show back on. There were rumors that Netflix was going to pick them up, but it never happened. I was so disappointed, but it was such a good show. In fact, there was a kind of a side note here to the side note. DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which was a TV show also on CW, they actually had Ryan, I forget the guy's name, Ryan something. He was the main actor from the TV adaptation of Constantine. They had him crossover into the DC universe, which I believe is actually accurate for the comic books. But I just thought that was the coolest thing, seeing Constantine, a exorcist, with these like superhero people that are traveling through time and trying to. It was just funny, man. But it was really cool just having that crossover.
That is pretty awesome. And by the way, if Netflix does want to pick it up, or DC for that matter, and need a narrator for the series, I volunteer. Um, so I would love to narrate that series, man. It'd be awesome.
That would be kind of cool. That would be cool.
All right. So as far as I'm concerned, like I said, I think it's one of the greatest, paranormal slash, I wouldn't call it horror really, but paranormal movies ever made. There's plenty of other good ones. But I love this one for several things. I like the fact that they dug deep into history and brought things like the Spear of Destiny forward. They weaved in like real, what I would call like modern day interpretations from, the Catholic religion about suicide and death and hell and all that kind of stuff. Like they were pretty accurate. I mean, obviously they took a little bit of artistic liberty because it's a movie. That's what you do. But I'll give them credit.
It's a
Yeah,
movie. That's what you
I'll
do.
give them credit for getting very close. And I'll mention another movie here that has nothing to do with horror or anything like that. But it's another movie where they got really close as far as the history and the reality of it is Conclave. I watched that on a plane on a flight, and
Oh,
that one had Stanley Tucci and what's the guy's name from Harry and
oh,
the Hendersons, the dad of the family, Lithgow.
oh. John
Lithgow, yeah.
Lithgow. John Lithgow. Yeah.
Both of them delivered amazing performances. So if you're into that kind of stuff,
I think John Lithgow was nominated for an award for that one, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that.
yeah, I'm not sure, but they both did
I did.
great performances in there. That movie was, I mean, it's intense, it was good, and it dug in to the history and the lore incredibly well. And that's one of the things I appreciate about Constantine is like for the most part, aside from like the Papa Midnight scenes and like sitting on the the electric chair,
Electric chair
that kind
from
of
Sing
stuff.
Sing.
Right. Who's a rat in
Yeah.
a dress now? Um, that's that was one of my favorite scenes in that movie where he's like he knocks him out and he stands over him. He's like, "Who's a rat in a dress now, So good.
Fuck.
Other thing I loved about this movie was just like the opening scene where he does the first exorcism. Like that locked you in, and you knew that you were just in for a ride on that one, and it went all the way through.
Yeah, that whole mirror situation, the physics behind that bothered me because it was like they're trying to push the mirror out the window, and instead of doing that to go easier out the opening, they're like trying to force it through the window frame without moving it in any way. And I was like, just shift it,
There's
just
probably
shift it.
some kind of supernatural reason. If you tilt the mirror, it comes out, or who?
Well, then say so.
Well, yeah. I mean, fair enough. It was kind of dumb when I first saw it, and I was like, that's kind of weird, but okay. But yeah, that scene, that like aside from that part of it, that scene was just like intense, especially when the guy like looks when he's not supposed to, and then he like goes like wandering off because his hair turns white, and yeah,
He's like grabbing at his face and freaking out because he's like,
he got had pretty bad.
what would that even feel like?
Yeah, so like, you know, and obviously I can go on and on about this movie, about all the stuff I like. The one thing I would say that I didn't like, and it's more like a, not like I didn't like it, but I wish they would have had more scenes with Satan in them along the way, because I think that actor did so good of a job that if he would have popped in,
Sounds like you're
yeah, if he would have popped in here and there on other scenes like along the way, I think it would have been cool. But then again, it wouldn't have had like the
mm,
impact of just seeing him in that like one final scene. So
eh.
yeah, I mean, he was a great actor regardless. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got to say about Constantine. So let's move on to the next one. Again, no order here, so I don't want anyone to complain that, oh, why is this number 2? This is literally just what came on the list. Fallen.
Mm.
Release date.
Yeah.
Release date
Okay.
January 16th. Get this, Mike. 1998. So think about that.
Dude, I didn't even graduate in high school.
Me either. Okay. Main actors, Denzel, of course, right? Denzel Washington,
Denzel,
John
John
Goodman,
Goodman.
and Donald Sutherland,
Yeah.
right? Now, again,
Donald Sutherland, that's right. He was the police chief.
right. Now, I'm going to give you a little tiny synopsis and then we'll jump into it. So, a detective investigates a string of murders linked to a demonic entity that can possess humans after a convicted killer's execution. All right, Mike, tell me about Fallen. What did you like about this movie, and what didn't you like about it?
This was one of the first movies that I saw and I don't think really too many movies have done this in this way, where it's like the demon entity that's able to traverse from person to person, body to body, and like take over their lives and do things in their as them. And I don't think I'd seen that before very often. So when I saw that and realized, oh, dude, the demon's in the other body, and he's like able to do stuff, and he didn't die dude. It's crazy. It was definitely yeah, it was a cool experience to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite parts of the movie was "Time is on my side."
The
Yes, it
Rolling
is. I
Stones.
mean, come on, like they
That's right.
couldn't have picked a better, song for that movie just because this thing is ancient, right? What was it called? Beelzebub or um oh,
The
Azazel.
the demon
Yeah,
itself.
Azazel,
Azazel,
that's
yeah,
right. I
that
was like,
sounds right. Yeah.
Beelzebub sounds a lot like Azazel. Okay. So I love the Rolling Stones in there. I mean, I shouldn't say any movie, but most movies with Denzel are going to be a banger, right? It's Denzel. He's
Oh
good. I
yeah,
mean, he's one of the best.
dude. He did. Did you ever see his Othello?
No, I didn't.
He did Othello. I think it's streaming
Yeah,
somewhere.
I need to watch
But
that.
that was damn
But
good.
yeah, he killed it. John Goodman. Anytime these two, like John Goodman always plays a bit part in like these kind of movies with Denzel. Anytime he comes in, it's going to be a good time. I remember when he came into the I forget the name of the movie, but it's the one where Denzel's the pilot and they're like trying to lay the blame on him for having to fly the plane. I think it
I
was
think it's just called Flight.
something like that. And John Goodman comes in like the Rasta hat with a bag full of the goodies, and he's like hanging out there with him. Yeah, it was the movie is
Are you
yes,
serious?
dude.
I'm glad I don't know about that one.
Anytime these 2 go together, it's just gonna be a good time. So that one, I like that. I like the fact that they, kind of wove a little bit of historical, knowledge into it. I like the
Yeah.
way they worked that into there. Um, and I really liked the I don't wanna call it a twist, but the part at the end where, like, he thought he was gonna get rid of the demon, and then just when you, like, see it about to happen, that cat just walks by. And it's like
Yeah.
and I remember watching the movie and saying, "No." And then that's what happened, and it was like, "Oh, no, this is."
Spoilers, by the way. The movie did come out 28 years ago,
Yeah.
26 years ago, but
I was gonna say
spoilers.
good point bringing up spoilers. There will be spoilers throughout this list, so if you haven't seen any of these, ignore what we're saying or whatever the case is, but, most of these are pretty old movies, and I would guess most of people have seen them by this point.
Watch the movies and then watch this podcast.
Exactly, and by the way, I'll
Conversation.
have in the show notes, I'll have the full list of the movies there, so if you happen to get to a point where there's a spoiler and you're like, "Oh, let me stop," you can still go get the full list in the show notes, right, and watch it before you watch the rest of the podcast, so, um,
Or even just jump ahead to certain areas of this podcast that just still want to see or yeah, yeah.
yeah, there you go, so that one, again, it was an excellent movie. I don't look at these kind of movies for, like, who won awards or who didn't. I just wanna know, was it a good time watching it? Fallen was a good time watching it, period. I mean,
Oh yeah, 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 for sure. John Goodman's one of those actors also that he's like he's like low key very method. Have you ever seen Oh Brother We're Out Thou?
no, but I did see him on the Netflix series, the political one, and he was hilarious in that one.
I don't know about that one, but no, I mean in Oh Brother We're Out There, he plays this Bible salesman.
Mm.
And he ends up trying to beat up like entrust these people to pay for his meal. Then they go out somewhere like on in the grass and like to have lunch. And after they finish eating, he breaks his stick off the tree, beats the dude over the head, and jacks his money. And then when he was coveting this little uh, shoebox, and the shoebox had a frog because the frog they thought was their friend. A whole other story. Well, he's like, it's just a old honey toad. Throws it back in the box for, and then he just like squishes it with his hand and throws it against the tree. He's like, that's what I think about your friend. And then he's like thinking he's big shit because he just beat the crap out of two people and still stole their money. And I'm like, but that's not John Goodman. John Goodman's a good guy. He's like the one that he's like the dad. And he's like but man,
Well,
when he
Roseanne
plays these
I was like,
very
Roseanne tinted a lot of visions of yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure. Because he grew up or we grew up in that time period. He was that like he was the trusted dad. He was the trusted guy that we would be able to depend on. And then you see him squish a poor frog and throw him across the tree and just
Yeah. That
messed up.
I mean, true, true. But he's a great actor, right? So, moving on. So taking it forward 1 year, September the 10th, 1999. You know what? I'm going to change it up here. I'm going to read you the synopsis first, then let
Like,
you guess the movie, and then I'll say yes or no, and then I'll list the actors. That's what we should have done from the. It's too late now. Again, this podcast is just going. We're doing it live.
off
Do it
the
live.
off the cuff.
All
Shoot.
right. All right.
I'm good.
September 10th, 1999. A woman experiences supernatural wounds resembling Christ's wounds.
Sorry.
Hold on. Prompting a priest to investigate a possible mystical connection. What is it?
I already know. Good movie too. It's funny story about this movie. I went with Pedro, my friend, buddy from college, my friend Liz, and then her friend. I remember her friend's name, but it was supposed to be a double date, and they were trying to get me and the friend to go to Stigmata, a- and Pedro and my friend Liz, and going to see Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence at the theater at the exact same time. So I ended up going to the theater showing Stigmata because I was waiting for this girl to show up. She never even showed up.
Wow.
So I literally sat through the movie by myself the entire time. Yeah, funny story. Anyway, good movie though. That would be Patricia Arquette, I
Right.
believe, as the main
Main
actress.
actress,
Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne. Yep. And Jonathan Price.
Yeah, Jonathan Price. I don't know if
Me either. I have no
Jonathan
idea,
Price
but he's
is.
in there, so I'm gonna give him the credit for it. Um, but yeah, this was a great movie. Like I don't remember when I watched it. I don't remember if I watched it in the theater or not. But this is another one where
Mm,
I appreciated. There were several things I appreciated about the movie. One was the historical accuracy from, again, the religious perspective, right? The whole like the Catholic Church's belief in this.
Sensing a theme here,
Yeah.
Ernest.
Yeah. And it was very close. And the other thing I really appreciated was there are many people, even in these religions, who don't realize that the language that was spoken at the time was Aramaic. And the fact that they
Mm,
went that deep into you can call it the lore if you want to bring that ancient language back was like really impressive to me, at least. I thought it was cool. The special effects were pretty interesting too. But I will say that,
mm,
like, it was another one of those where I distinctly remember people like being very upset about this movie because of the
oh,
the
I can
the
see
religious
that.
like overtones in it.
Religious
So
implications.
um
Yeah.
overall I liked it. I think the cinematography was great. I liked the location. I don't know if it was an apartment or whatever that it was shot in. That place was kind of cool. Um but other than that, yeah, not much to say about it. Anything else you want to say about it?
The one thing I do remember, and I want to say the History Channel made a big deal about this, is where they placed the wounds on her hands versus like what's real stigmata versus what's essentially, I don't want to say made up, but just like falsified, or I don't know, whatever. But apparently the nails historically would have gone through his wrist, not his
Right.
hands, because his hands would not be able to support the body
Right.
weight. And they just made a big deal of it being from her hands, and like the blood like
Right. And I
going from
kind
her
of want
hands and all that.
I kind of
There's
wonder if that was on accident or on purpose, because if you go into like, and again, I haven't been, it's been many years since I've been inside one, but I distinctly remember as a kid when I would go into churches, they had them in the hands. In the
churches.
hands. They weren't
Yeah.
in the wrist.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was like a purposeful call out about, how the iconography is incorrect in like most churches. So
I think it was more aesthetics than anything, in the way the crosses were
yeah.
made, and when they were crafting them. Then I don't think they were thinking in terms of like reality. They were just, it was the
Yeah.
representation. The representation just made more sense to have it like in their
Yeah,
hands.
for
So
sure.
okay,
But yeah,
that's just my
I
take
remember
to
it
share.
being like a slightly controversial. It wasn't. There were many other things that were pretty controversial back then. But um, all right. So moving
That
forward,
99.
a little over a decade, January 22nd, 2010. All right. So here's the synopsis.
January
Yeah.
2010. Okay.
Strangers trapped in a remote diner must fend off angelic forces sent to spark the
All right, no.
apocalypse, defending a child prophesied to save humanity.
I also have a funny story about this movie too.
Man, you just got them.
Which one that we probably won't even include in this. You may end up needing to edit it, but I'm just saying it's
All
funny.
right, so I'll name the main actors. Uh,
Let me see. Hold on, wait, let me guess. Let me
okay,
guess. Um, it's oh my god, what is his name? I keep saying Fassbender, but it's not Fassbender. Um, it's
Tyrese Gibson.
this is gonna be the short. This is gonna be the short. What is it? Tyrese Gibson. He was in that,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. Lucas Black.
Oh, that's right, because he was the mechanic. Lucas Black, because he was the kid. Man, I ain't trying to blank with these names. I see their faces clearly. Julian Padalecki, or something else, with something with a P, P-A-L. Dennis Quaid. Um, the main guy though, the angel guy, he played Michael.
Paul Bettany.
Um, it's Paul Bettany. Paul Bettany. I know his name. God, what's it?
All right, so what's the name of the movie?
Oh, it's Legion.
Okay.
Legion. So funny story. So when me and Kathy were dating, this was actually the movie that we went to go see and we're related, got drunk, and possibly conceived my son
Wow. That's
from that movie.
on a podcast live. You heard it here live, people. This is where
Hey, facts are facts, bro. I don't care. I ain't trying to hide
Legion was
nothing.
responsible. And I'm surprised you didn't name him Michael after that, being that this is, anyway. Um,
It came up and it was turned down several
Man,
times.
yeah. So this movie I liked for many reasons. Obviously, the cinematography was good, and you and I have discussed this before,
Mhm.
but for whatever random reason, I like the idea of movies being shot in one location. And I don't mean like in one city, like one building or one room, right? And I've seen a few of them. I've seen a few of them out there, and it's very hard to do something like that.
Yep,
Right? Because it's like, how are
absolutely.
you varying everything to keep the viewer interested, but you're doing it in one room? So, like, the vast majority of this thing takes place in that diner, right? Almost the whole movie.
Yes, not only that, but also the constraints of using film. If you're using film versus digital, you were constrained to the length of the reel of
Mhm.
film. And the reason I bring this up is because there was a movie called Rope. It was an Alfred Hitchcock movie. The entire movie was shot in one room from one camera. It was one continuous roll. There were no takes. There was no stops. And the way they would stop and transition film rolls, which was the only reason they would stop, is they would zoom in on a gentleman's back who was wearing a black jacket. So he would zoom in on the back of their jacket, cut, rerun the film, and zoom back out, and then continue the filming.
And that's the kind of stuff that only a
Yeah.
master can do, right? Because that's
Hell yeah. He invented all of that, man. That was all from up him. That was all his
yeah. So,
absolutely.
yeah, Legion was a great movie. There was a line, so, like, obviously, I like the fact that it mostly took place in the diner. I like the fact that, like, the sound
Mhm.
stage was great because you kept hearing all the things outside going on and, like, you're trapped inside, right? Um, the acting was great. Paul Bettany did a great job in there, but I remember there was a line in there. I'm gonna butcher it. I know it, but it's between Michael and Gabriel where he tells him something like, "You only tell," referring to God, right? "You only tell him what he wants to hear. I told him what he needed to hear." And it was like, man, that was a strong line for an angel to deliver in a movie like this. So I was like, that was
To refer to God like that, yeah,
right.
that's crazy.
Exactly. So that was great. And then I mean, Tyrese Gibson, the movie's gonna be a banger, right? So
I think that's a bit of a stretch, but
I mean, he did great
whatever.
in Baby Boy. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, but which is not on this list, okay? Just to point that out. Uh,
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Well, I mean, well, no, it wasn't really scary, but anyway, I would say all of that.
Or good.
What did you like about the movie?
Legion was cool. The old lady creeped the crap out of me. I think that was like the scariest thing out of the
And not that little
entire
kid?
damn movie. No, no, with the little
There was some
kid.
little
Was there a
kid too
baby or
that was
something that
like,
was like?
I don't know if it was possessed or what, but there was a little creeper kid in the movie too.
I hadn't seen that movie in a few years, but the old lady, she's like, "I'm gonna eat your child, or I'm gonna eat your soul." Ha, ha, ha." And she like hops up on the roof and she does like demonic fucking. No, man, that gave me nightmares. I didn't like that.
It's a good
Um,
movie though.
it was it was a good movie. Absolutely, it was a good movie. I like the like they were kind of sequestered off from the rest of the world. Like they were almost in this like post-apocalyptic kind of a vibe because they were not able to contact out. They were not able to get radio signals or hear anything that's going on. But also, there's these like massive storms going all around them. And then these weird and then the ice cream truck.
Oh
Do you remember
yes.
that? And the guy that came, that lanky guy that came out of the ice cream truck, that thing scared the out of me, man. Because holy jeez, I do not want that showing up at my front door.
Yeah, it was just
No, sir.
it was definitely a masterclass. Every time you felt like something like they had gotten over the challenge or whatever it was, something else showed up and you were like, "Oh
Mhm.
my god, not another one." So yeah, it was definitely it was a marathon of a movie. By the end I was exhausted.
Oh
By
yeah.
the end I was exhausted. I was like, "Man, I give up on humanity at this point. Let's just roll with it." Um All right. So moving on, rolling back 8 years to November the 1st, 2002, in the UK. Okay, because it's one of those where it's like it released over there first, I think. I'll give you this.
I
I'll
think I
give you
already
the
know.
synopsis. Survivors in a
I think I already
You
know.
might know.
I definitely know.
Survivors in a post-apocalyptic England struggle against a
I
rage
already know.
virus that has turned most of the population into violent zombies. So first of all, name the actors.
Oh, it's Homeboy. It's Naomi. I can't remember her last name.
Harris.
She's in it. But
Naomi Harris.
Naomi Harris, thank you, and Oppenheimer. Um, and I just saw Inception the other
I'll
day
name
too.
another one. Brendan
Um,
Gleeson.
Cillian
Cillian
Murphy,
Murphy.
and Brendan Gleeson was. I love that man. He is a great actor. Brendan
All right.
Gleeson. Sure.
So the
But yeah,
movie, what is it?
28
All
days
right.
later.
Now, what did you like about
Yeah,
this
as soon as
movie?
you said UK and that time frame, I knew exactly what movie it was. That was talk about a masterclass. That one redefined the found footage, redefined well, not really found footage, but redefined the like handheld quality of horror and just added this like veracity and intensity to movies that I to that point had never seen before. And the fact that it was all done in these like really cheapy little cameras and super low budget, I feel like they spent most of their budget clearing space like on the ground in the city than on their actual equipment or production.
Yeah,
But because that
I think
was
so too. And I mean, I would say, and it's funny because I don't think I have it on this list, like the Blair Witch Project or the other one, Cloverfield. And you're right, this one, like, I wouldn't say it redefined the zombie genre, but it definitely changed it. Uh,
I feel like it kind of propelled it, honestly, because it was definitely popular. Obviously, George Romero of the 50s, 60s, things like that. But I think that for the 2000s, I think that was one of the ones, those defining moments
right,
that because of that, Walking Dead came. Because of
exactly.
that, like
It wa-
all these
it was
other
the
movies and
Justin
zombie things
Timberlake
came
of
from.
horror movies. It brought sexy back, and
There you go. Sure, yeah,
yeah, sure, whatever, that works. Yeah, so again,
that
I would
works.
agree with you that the found footage cinematography, small camera thing was really cool. And like you said, the
Mhm.
fact that they were able to shoot so many different angles and scenes with those little cameras was insane. But this was another one where it was like a roller coaster ride. Like the minute it opened up,
Oh
it was just
yeah,
nonstop till the end. There, like it's my heart was beating the whole time. Fast, not just. I mean, it beats anyway, but yeah,
side note, though, one of the things also I feel like they did, and this is kind of a underlying just an observation. The zombie movies prior to that, I think they showed zombies in this very slow, lumbering kind
right.
of brains kind of a vibe, versus now in this, and also like World War Z. That was another one that did that. And I'm pretty sure. Uh, Night of the Living Dead. There's another one I can't think of it. But essentially, just kind of speeding them up,
Right.
making them they're now running to you. Now they're semi cognizant, semi like understanding like you are my enemy and I'm coming to hurt you. Period.
Right.
Like that there is intent, there is reasoning, there
Yeah.
is
And
intelligence
after
behind
that, movies opened up
these
with zombies.
zombie
Like you had
faces.
ones that were out in the daylight, right? You had ones that, and I know that's typically a
Oh
vampire
yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
a lot of times in most movies, it was like a lot of them they were only
It's kind of a
nighttime
crossover.
things, right? And so that opened up that genre even further
Mhm.
there.
I Am Legend. I Am
Yes.
Legend. That was another one that was, and I feel like that was more of a. It was like a zombie vampire
Right.
crossover because it did suck blood, but it was also like out, like you said, out the day, and those bastards ran
Yeah.
for sure. They
Oh
ran.
yeah, they ran. I that
So
that movie, and I don't think that one's on this list either. It should be, but I could only make the list so long before it was like, hey, we're out of control here. Rolling forward 4 years. Okay, 4 years. April 21st, release date in Canada of
okay,
2006. Synopsis. A mother ventures into the eerie and fog shrouded place. I'm not going to say it because it's the name of the movie. to find her missing daughter, encountering cultists and supernatural horrors. And I know you've
I
seen
don't
this one. I
know.
know you've seen this one because we were just at PRGE and you pointed out somebody in a costume from this movie or from this. I'll just say it now. There's a video game series that has to do with it too.
Oh, Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. That's right.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
I didn't know that was in Canada
main
or
actors
released in Canada.
Rhoda Mitchell, Sean Bean, and Laurie Holden.
Sean Bean.
Yep.
Sean Bean.
So,
Hey, my video. Oh, there it
yeah.
is.
So I know you saw this one now because I mean, I saw it
Oh
too.
yeah.
What was your favorite? What did you like about this movie?
Again, one of those first movies that kind of like took a specific idea and just kind of made it their own. The whole parallel worlds thing, I thought that was really original. But again, I hadn't played the game before this. I hadn't even known too much about the storyline when that came out. So seeing that and then seeing like the how the buildings would deteriorate and the all the monsters would come out and then but it would only be to a certain time frame and then it would transition back to like reality or whatever. I thought that was really cool. I like that into the transition phases between. I thought for the time the effects were pretty cool,
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, and so for this movie, like I had obviously played the video game series, and it's a movie about a video game series, so usually those aren't too good. Although
Yeah.
we have a few others of those in the list, but
Well,
but I will say that like the thing I like most about this movie was the costuming and makeup was on another level for this thing. Like those nurses,
oh
and
yeah,
then that triangle
the
headed dude.
nurses, the triangle.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
I
That
mean,
was really cool.
and then so like the costuming and makeup was on another level. The set design was insane, right, for this thing because of where it was taking place.
That wasn't Lucas. Not is it Lucas Films that does Industrial Light and Magic?
ILM. I'm not sure if it was them or not, but it was just one of these like, like the majority of the
Those is
movie was driven by the fact that they had excellent set design and the costuming and stuff. The soundstage was really good too, especially when you were when they were being chased by the guy. Um, the strikes of that mallet or whatever he had was just like,
oh
I
yeah.
mean, it like shook, right? And it was like the fear was there. So I will say that like they used all of those things together to really make that movie like creepy more than scary. It was just like super super creepy, which is kind of how the video game is, to be honest with you.
Uncomfortable, where it gets under your
Right,
skin a little bit and just kind of makes you feel.
right.
Yeah, I
So
like those.
the next one is
PT.
actually a film series, right? So some of these that if we had gone through them one by one, it would have taken forever. So I kind of lumped these together as a series. Now again, there was a 2002 to 2017 was when the series came out. There was a reboot in 2021. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and read it. And I know you've seen this one too. Um,
VHS.
no. A series of horror action
Oh, okay,
films.
okay,
A series of horror action films. So that's what these are. These are horror action films. Follow Alice and other survivors
okay.
battling the viral outbreak and the evil Umbrella Corporation.
Oh, really? Okay, okay, okay. Again, this was what year in comparison to 28 Days
So
Later?
the first of the movies that came out was 2002, right? So as far as 28 days later, it was the exact same year. And then I don't have like the month, but 28 days later was November 1st. So
This is probably early into
it
the
was
year.
either I mean, yeah, but like it was kind of all around the same time, right? So like it's within the same year. You're
Okay.
right. It could have been a couple of months earlier. It could have been in December for all I know. I didn't grab the exact date. But the point is
Well, I guess
they were in production at the
yeah,
same time.
yeah, probably
Right. So
so for sure.
there's no way that one would have launched the other because they would have had to been recording at the same time to launch in the same year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if anything, I mean, that's just showing that because Resident Evil? Resident
Yeah,
Evil,
so
right?
the film
No,
series is Resident Evil. Yeah, absolutely.
Resident Evil. Okay. So that first one was also a movie based on the video game.
Right.
Correct?
Exactly.
So the video game came 1st.
Mhm.
So technically, maybe 28 days later could have even influenced, or Resident Evil could have even influenced
Yeah.
28
But
days
the
later,
Resident
which
Evil
further
at least
propelled the whole zombie thing.
right, and at least the original game of Resident or the older games of Resident Evil did have the slow zombies. I don't think I don't remember if they ever got the fast ones in the more recent games. I haven't really kept up with the series much. I played very old versions of them. But you're right. It was clearly a that video game influenced a lot. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and jump over to number 8 now because it's tied into this, right? And then we'll come back because remember there was that reboot. Actually, the reboot in 2021 was really good. But
In the game or the movie?
the reboot they did in 2021. But what I liked even more, what I liked even more, and of course this is when we get into it, you'll see why. This was July 14th, 2022, right? So this was right after the movie. So you can see where the plan was here that didn't quite materialize. So reboot the series in 2020, reboot the movie in 2021, then go into a series, Resident Evil series, right? In 2022. So you can see where they were trying to launch the next phase of this, but it didn't pan out. The series released July 14th, 2022. Synopsis set in 2036. So it's now in, the future. Jade Wesker fights infected and uncovers Umbrella's dark secrets alongside her sister Billy in a post-apocalyptic world. So this was the Netflix series that was launched, and man, I thought it was great. So actresses and actors, right? Ella Balinska, Sienna Agudong, and then the legendary and unfortunately recently passed away Lance Reddick, who played Wesker in the actual series. This is the guy who also plays Zavala in Destiny and Destiny 2. The voice actor for that character.
Guy, okay.
He was in the movie. He delivered a phenomenal performance. Now they didn't kill the series because of him. He passed away after that. It's just Netflix's, hey, I'm going to do one series and kill it type of thing. This was actually a really good series. Unfortunately, like I said, it didn't go anywhere. But did you watch any of it?
I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, so this is one that I would highly recommend. If you're a fan of Resident Evil, period, the video game or the movies, you should watch this just so that you can see. They actually, it's updated, it's modern, it's obviously taking place in the future, modern science, modern technology, modern laboratories. As a matter of fact, there's even a little bend in there about pacifying society through drugs. It's a great freaking series. You need to watch it. And like anything else, much like the Marco Polo one, they killed it. So that's all I'll say about that one.
Didn't see that one either.
Now I'm going to move on to the next one. And this one's a little bit of a kind of a gimme. I realize that, but I wanted to put it in there given the timing of what's about to happen over the next, couple of months and whatever. So I had to throw it in there as a gimme, and I know some people are going to be like, "Why is that in here? That's too recent." But we cover all. We're very inclusive on this podcast. So, release date July 15th, 2016. That was the first episode of the series. This is a series, okay?
I already know.
And then the synopsis.
As soon as you said series, and you're all about Netflix.
Yeah.
Exactly what
and so I'm going to give you the synopsis. In 1983, Indiana, a group of friends encounter supernatural forces and a mysterious girl with psychic powers after a disappearance. Mike, what is it?
Stranger Things.
Now, so yes, Stranger Things. Main actors and actresses: Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Millie Bobby Brown. And there's plenty of other ones. Look, they've all done a great job here. And the fact that I don't have them listed here is not a slight on any of them. I just grabbed the top 3 on all of them. Or the first 3, I should say, that popped up on IMDb. So plenty of great actors and others that have hopped in and out. As a matter of fact, what's his name? Samwise Gamgee.
He was in the first season.
Yeah.
Aston.
There you go. Great performance there too. And even the Goonies. So whatever.
Until he died.
I'm not going to say anything. So yeah, this series is excellent. excellent. Like aside from the hype that happens, because
Yeah.
I know that it gets hyped up and all this kind of stuff, but this is one of those things. Like Mike, you and I are children of the '80s, right? We grew up in the era that this series is. This was 1983. We were 3 years old, right? So we weren't as old as these kids were because they were clearly riding bikes around, but
Mhm.
we were alive long enough to. We saw the satanic panic that happened in the '80s, right? The D&D was like evil and was like consuming children's souls. I don't even remember. It's
And I remember that. What was funny about that is my uncle Bill and cousins Javi and Chris, they all played Dungeons and Dragons back then during that entire time.
yeah.
And like, nah, we don't care. We're just playing the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and we weren't it wasn't that we weren't allowed to. It was more like one of those things where like my parents wouldn't have allowed us to, so we kind of ignored it. And, I didn't really have friends that were into it. I mean, they were more into like La Llorona and
Mhm.
Bloody Mary and stuff like that. So,
You're
so
funny.
like D&D didn't wasn't really a thing for me at that age. It wasn't I want to say it was in high school before I played it for the first time, but either way, the series is excellent. As somebody, Mike will tell you if you ever see him in person, I am absolutely an '80s aficionado. Everything '80s. I love the '80s. '80s rock, '80s hairstyles, '80s attire, '80s decor, whether it's, the browns and paneled walls if you were like us and didn't have a lot of money, or the like bright colored, almost 3D art deco looking things of the rich people. It was an interesting decade altogether. And I love that they nailed it so well in this series. They got it to a T. I loved that they had D&D in this. That was an awesome thing. The whole concept of the upside down was like, the parallel world, but literally upside down. That was great. But one of the things I think that I like most about this series, and and Mike, you'll laugh when I say this because you know how I am about these kind of things, was using the Christmas
Something
lights.
to do with hair
No, the
metal.
Christmas lights and the Ouija board on the wall. Yeah, so
Why is that the one thing that
because I
you
don't like mess around with those kind of things, Ouija boards and all that kind. I just don't touch those. But the
Christmas
fact that
lights?
they basically made a Ouija board on the wall with Christmas lights to like pick the letters. I was like, that was it. Because remember back then, I don't remember exactly when the Ouija board game came out, but I feel like it was around this time. Uh, and it became very popular, and obviously not to certain groups like the groups I was in who were like, no, we're not touching that. To this day, I will not touch one of those. But it was just interesting the way they did it on the wall. I
Mhm.
was like, that's a cool callback to another thing of that era that was awesome. And then yeah, obviously, I don't want to give a spoiler away on this, so I'm just gonna say the ending sequence of the last season, not the one that's coming out literally next month, right? Because that is the final season. But the one from the previous one, I don't even know the season number. The last episode of that last season, and it wasn't even the '80s, but it was rock and it was metal. And the scene was metal. It was probably one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a series ever. That's how good it was. And again, I'm not going to give it away because I don't want, people haven't seen it yet. I don't want to steal that from them because literally it builds up to that. And then the top pops off right there. I was jumping in my seat. No joke when that scene went off.
I'm pretty sure it's Metallica. It's a song off the Black Album, which would have been in the 80s.
Oh, then
So
it
it
was.
was definitely
Yeah, you
80s,
know
not
what? That does
90s.
make sense because
Yeah,
I will give the Duffer Brothers credit. They are extremely good about like era appropriate
accurate.
accuracy. So you're right. You're right. It was off the Black Album, and that was the late '80s. Actually, maybe in the early '80s even. Now that I think about it, but regardless, it is period appropriate.
Mhm.
So that was excellent. So I know you've watched the series.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
what
for
did you
sure.
like about it?
Um, I mean, just the storytelling. Storytelling from the get, I think was just well done. Um, Teasing these other worlds and other dimensions, toying with that and seeing other sides and knowing that there's monsters on the other side of this, like this very thin portal of space, and you crossing over, you enter into this whole new world of dangers and scary crap, right? So and then throwing in, I liked the whole government, and I say government, but it was probably some like high level tech lab thing for the 80s. They were experimenting on humans, and I feel like a lot of that really did happen. And I think that that's interesting. It's an interesting callback to that
Oh
period of
yeah,
time.
there's been a long
And
history of abuse of people, even in just like mental institutions, right? Like being used for experiments, and
yeah.
yeah, so it was a true thing that they highlighted. That was cool. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, but besides that, overall, I love the series. I hate what they've done with it. They've just dragged it out so damn long, and I hate to say it, but I feel like I hope that this is not some sort of experiment they're trying to do to make series in the same sort of format where they're just like dragging things
Yeah,
out for no period for just to extend the amount of time they have to uh, make it
to get
like
new subscribers. That's what this is all about. It's Netflix, right?
new subscribers and more money for
Right.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on that. I give them a little bit of leeway just because COVID, right? I have a feeling that if
Mm.
COVID had not
True.
happened, they would have wrapped this up, you know, years ago. But
Long time ago.
COVID threw everything off. Everything went, backdoored, and it just created a mess, right? But you're right. But the Duffer Brothers have said on multiple occasions that this is it. They have no intention on continuing the series. They're going to close it out. They have other things they want to work on. And that is something that I really respect, right? When the director is like, no, we wrote this storyline. This is the end of it. We're going to take you to the end. That's it. We're going to do other things
That-
that you might like, right? But this
Excuse
particular
me.
world and storyline comes to an end. So I think that's what they're going to do. There's definitely been a part of like, how much money can we milk out of this series, and through merchandising and all that kind of stuff.
I'm pretty sure also during the last few years there were actor strikes also that played a part in the
Actor strikes,
delay.
writer
So
strikes. Yeah, there was all kinds of things, right?
yeah,
On
yeah.
top of COVID, right? So, and actually, I would blame COVID for starting all
Mhm.
that. It's not like there's never been writer strikes or actor strikes in the past, but like COVID made things worse for everybody, right? So, yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
would put all
true.
that together. All right, so moving on to the last one. This is number 10. Now, I have a much longer list than this. I did the top 10 for this
I
episode.
was gonna
Hold on, wait a minute.
say,
Listen. I did the top 10 for this episode because I was like, given the time constraints we have to do this on, I need to get it done in 1 hour, both recording and then I need to edit it and get it out by Halloween, right? So I was like, okay. But uh, for those watching, this is number 10. This is the last one. I am looking at another 30 or 40 movies after this where I have listed on the other notable list. And now that I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to have to separate each of these into episodes of 10 or less because they take a while to talk about. But just so y'all know, this isn't the end of the list. This is the end of the 10 that we're doing for this episode. We will come back with more.
Volume
Volume
1.
1. So this is the last one. And this is one where there was another movie that actually preceded this one that I had in place 10, but I moved it out and moved this one into place 10 because I felt like this one was um I don't know. I really like this movie. I like the other one too, and I'm not going to spoil it now cuz we're going to cover it in a future episode, but this one released in 2010, April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2010, okay? And I'm going to read the synopsis now. A family confronts dark entities in a spiritual realm called the Further to save their comatose son, aided by a psychic and demonologists. Mike,
That's right. It was 2010 because I was first year I was working at Time Warner, and that was the year Evan was born.
so
So
yeah,
yeah, that
so what
makes
movie
sense.
is it, Mike?
That would be Insidious,
That's
sir.
right. And so you probably know the other one I'm talking about that came out before this that was kind of like an inspiration, and I don't, and again, I'm not going to ruin it. We'll cover it in a future episode, but I swapped it
Tell
out.
me after because I don't remember.
So
I don't know which one you're
Paranormal
talking about.
Activity. I I had
Oh,
I had that in this list, and then I swapped it out for Insidious just because I was like,
that should have been in this
no, it,
list.
it should have been, and it will be in the future. Don't worry, I have it. It's in the list.
Oh.
It's in the
Yeah,
larger list. It was like it was battling for that number 10 spot.
I'm gonna send you movies. I'm gonna send you movies to add to the
That's
list
fine.
because I don't know if
You can
I
send me
trust
any
your.
movies you want. I'm happy to add them to the list. I'm not gatekeeping any kind of list here. This is just the list. So main actors: Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Lynn Shay.
Rose Byrne.
Now I
Oh
will
yeah, Lynn Shays. Creepy lady,
Hell
dude.
yes. Now this entire movie was great. The cinematography was excellent. The whole storyline was excellent, but
Mhm.
I will say that my favorite part of the movie, and again, I always find like the weird stuff in the movie that I like, was them putting Tiny Tim's song "Tiptoe Through the Tulips"
You
in this
would.
movie. That was just one of those things where it was like, I had never considered that song being in a movie like this, but then when they put it in there, I was like, "Hell yeah, that is a creepy song." Like, just it just made your skin crawl because it's Tiny Tim, and you know how.
Especially seeing that little demonic face like there while you're hearing it. It's just there in its little office doing its weird shit,
Mhm.
playing the music in the background. Oh yeah. There.
"Tiptoe
Ah,
through the
no.
tulips with me."
Don't
It was
even,
just
man.
yes, I know, I know.
Don't
People are like,
even.
"Look, and if you love my singing skills, let me know in the comments too." Um, Even though I'm not a singer, clearly. Never released a platinum album. Hell, never released a bronze one. Or an album for that matter, period. So, uh, but Mike, what did you like from this movie?
Okay, so Insidious is one of those movies I feel that in the last like 15 years kind of defined horror. I feel like it was very, very influential, but also just it took this whole different like it made you feel uncomfortable, made you like your skin crawl a little bit, but also it peeked in again. It's like that whole otherworldly thing. It's like seeing the other side of where does the demon go when it's not hunting people, and where does this demon what is this demon doing? Then you're actually, I guess, to a certain degree, it personalizes them, but at the same time knowing that there's still demons, knowing that the person can like astral project in the middle of the night and something else can get into their bodies without them knowing unconsciously. That concept made me feel uncomfortable because I was like, well, what happens to me when I sleep? Then are there demons getting in my body when I'm
Yeah,
not
it was
knowing?
kind of
How does this
it was
brains?
kind of a modern, I don't want to say equivalent because that's not the right word, but similarity to the whole like Nightmare on Elm Street concept, right? Where he could only kill you in your dreams. And so
In your
and so
sleep?
you
Yeah.
were you were scared that if you fell asleep, that's when they would get you, right? So like, yeah, this was like a modern take on that. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I mean, he wasn't really trying, or at least in this movie, he wasn't trying to kill him. He was literally just trying to
Right.
live. He wanted to take his demon form or demon entity or whatever, put into a body of a human person so that he can live in life and experience
Right.
life, right? Which is kind of messed up. You really think about it, like they're just that messed up and that to that degree that they are would just take over someone's life just to be able to
I mean,
live.
they are a demon to
Kinda
be fair, right? Like I
weird.
don't think they have consciences or whatever,
True.
but yeah, it was a great movie and like I said, it battled for the number 10 spot. So, it barely won out over Paranormal Activity and look, I actually think Paranormal Activity is a better movie. I really do. It's just one of those where it's like, well, I had to throw that in there. And I you don't want
They're different
they're different
movies.
movies entirely.
Different
And but
movies.
but I also wanted to like
Yeah.
sprinkle the bangers out across the the spectrum rather than trying to load them all up in one area. So this thing had like maybe two or three, and then the rest were like they're good, but they're not the best. Obviously Constantine is the best, and that's why it headlined this episode. But beyond that, we will cover a bunch of other stuff. So, Mike, we need to wrap this up here. So, is there anything you wanted to say in closing before I bring us to the outro?
I'd like to I wanna say that we need to do more modern horror movies. There's a movie called Monkey that will blow your mind, and there's a movie called Smile. The first one, not the second one, will make you not sleep for a week. Um, there are also ones that were kind of meh, but still effective in their cinematography. Like I think it was Lullaby was one, and there was another one. No, Skidamaric. Skidamaric. This whole minimalist, like these like very hints of like color, but black everywhere, and just hearing like weird, creepy sounds in the background. Very visceral, very like a liminal space kind of a vibe. But those are the movies I think that we should concentrate on and you should
Well, then
see.
put them on the list and we'll go from there. All right. So,
Done.
Thank you for joining us on Fabula Obscura, your gateway to the mysterious and the macabre. We dedicate this episode to Ozzy, the Prince of Darkness, who reminds us through his powerful words, maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. Let those words inspire us all. As a tribute to all Ozzy gave us, we vow never to let metal die. That's our promise to the Prince of Darkness. If you enjoyed today's episode and today's journey into the shadows, please take a moment to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube Podcast. Your support helps keep the darkness alive. Don't forget to subscribe on any of those platforms so you never miss an episode of spooky stories and eerie explorations. And for even more chilling content and updates, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and Blue Sky. All our social links are in the show notes and at fabulaobscura.com. Until next time, stay curious, keep the stories alive in the shadows, and carry the spirit of metal with you.